Welcome to the UK's first metal detection podcast. It's All Metal Mode UK with your host from across the pond, Mr. Michael Hare.
Alright everybody, welcome to the All Metal Mode UK Edition podcast. Boy am I excited to get this going, and it's been a long time in the works, and I'm really excited. And tonight's guest, our very first guest, is going to be Andy Sampson. I'm really looking forward to talking to him. I've talked to him the last couple days a little bit. Interesting guy, very cool. Before we get started and into all that, I would like to introduce myself since this is the first podcast I'm doing. I'm an American from across the pond. Don't hate me. Why am I doing this? I love history. I'm passionate about metal detecting. Fascinated with the history over in the UK. And it's just something I've wanted to do for a good bit now. And the opportunity to have guests from the UK and talk about what's being found in your history just is amazing to me. So that's why I'm doing this, and I hope you great people will accept me, even though I'm an American. About the Spreaker platform, I want to talk a little bit about this and touch on it. You can tune in live. The show will be live Thursdays. We'll be live every Thursday at 8 p.m. You can also download and listen to it later if you missed the show. It's not an issue. And the shows will be up. I can't tell you how long. It depends on how much memory I have and stuff, but at least months. You can go back and listen. I am getting to a point, because I do have another podcast, which is just All Metal Mode, which is for here in the United States. Most of my guests are here in the United States, and so I will get to a point where I have to remove some shows, but I'll remove the oldest shows. But so you can download, or you can just come back and listen later. It's not an issue. When we're doing a live show, which is every Thursday at 8 p.m., like I said, you can chat live with us. And to do that, once you go into the show, once the show's begun, you can go in and you can, there will be a little bar that'll pop up, whether it's on your phone, your tablet, your computer, however you want to listen in. A little bar will come across, usually I believe it's on the bottom, and you'll see a little chat bubble. Looks like a little cloud or a little bubble balloon. Click on that, and then that'll take you right into chat, and you can chat live with us then. So we're looking forward to that. You can ask us questions. You can talk to we can get questions to the guests, or if you have questions for me or whatever. What else do we have? I started a Facebook group, All Metal Mode UK. It's brand new. I just got it done late last night, so I don't even know if you can find it yet, but I set that up so if you want to be a guest on the show, you can reach out to me there. Keep me informed on what's going on over in the UK as far as metal detecting is concerned, news, finds, stuff like that. If you know somebody that would like to be a guest, they can reach me through there. You can also reach me through email at allmetalmode@gmail.com. Very simple. But yeah, join the group. if you can, and you know, give me input. Tell me what you want on the show. What's next? We're looking for a co-host. I would really like to find a co-host from the UK. You don't have to have a lot of knowledge, but I mean, the most important thing to me is you're passionate about the hobby. Everything else we can figure out, but if you'd be interested, reach out to me. Again, you can contact me through the Facebook group, which is All Metal Mode UK, or you can email me, allmetalmode@gmail.com. Let me know if you're interested, or if you know, again, if you know somebody that might be interested, reach out to them, have them get a hold of me. So again, I'm asking for help, and the reason I'm doing that, I don't look at this as my show, my podcast. This is your podcast. You know, I want to have fun and exciting guests on the show. I want to talk about detectors, get technical, maybe different forms, styles of metal detecting. I want this to be a fun place, fun guests where we can all learn. Whether it's about your history, it's about certain detectors, all that. So this is your show, and that's what I would say to you is, you know, help me, you know, please, if you have input, suggestions, ideas, guest ideas, reach out to me and let me know. To be a co-host or a guest, the only thing that's necessary is Skype. You got to go through Skype, simply because it would cost you too much to call in. Everything I do with the show is ran through Skype. So yeah, that's about it. And if anybody has any questions or anything, reach out to me. I'm looking forward to it. I want your input. So yeah, let's get the show started, and let's bring Andy in. Andy, you there?
Hi, Mike. Yeah, I'm here.
All right, how you doing?
Yeah, all good. All good.
Good deal. Boy, I got all that out. I'm telling you, I'm nervous, Andy, and I've been doing this for a while, but I'm really excited.
Don't be nervous. It's only me. You haven't got to worry about it.
Good deal. I'm really excited to hear some of your stories. Just talking to you ahead of time, you know, there's some. You seem like a fun guy with some good stories. We'll see. No pressure. No pressure, Andy.
No pressure. I've got a lot of good stories. Probably some I can't mention on here, but you know, yeah, got a lot of good stories. And it'd be quite good to hear from other people, seeing what they have to say as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hopefully,
and that, you know, I'm looking forward to it. Quite excited about this. Actually, I think it's something that's probably long overdue. We've got a lot of obviously YouTube channels with people doing stuff on YouTube, but no podcasts, and you know, it's the way forward.
Yeah, I think so. I know it's their big hit over here in the United States, and you know, we try to. I want to do the same kind of platform I'm already doing, just UK. We have fun guests. We try to talk about some technical stuff and different detectors. We've had a lot of guests who are very knowledgeable with a particular machine, talk about their programs, how to run it, what to expect of the detector, that kind of thing. So we really want to get into all of that and, you know, mix it up, have guests as well, and just do it all. So we'll see how it goes.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me.
So how long you been detecting, Andy?
Right. Well, haven't been detecting that long. I suppose, in the grand scheme of things, we've been detecting for. I think we started about October 2016. Myself and my friend Paul. We as I was explaining to you earlier, his name's Paul Adams. He's out in the States at the moment on holiday, but he. If you hear me refer to him as Dick, that's because that's his nickname, not given to him by me. That was given to him by his grandfather, not me. So if you hear me say Dick and Paul, it's the same bloke, the same guy. So don't worry about that. But yeah,
Hey,
we started. Sorry, go on.
but be honest. When he finds something really good, it feels good to call him Dick. Correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And there are other things to call him as well.
Right.
Definitely can't say on there. But yeah, no, it's good fun. So we started in October 2016. We both worked together. Our job's quite a stressful job, so we've been talking about doing something, like getting a little hobby, and we started talking about it one day, and we said, well, let's get a couple of metal detectors because lucky that my wife works on a farm, and it's a very big farm, and we know that nobody has ever detected there. And she had a word with the owner, and I know the owner, and everything sort of fell in place. So Dick and I we were allowed to go down there and detect. So we bought a couple of Garretts to start with. The Ace 400i is what I had, and he had the 300.
Okay.
And we just started going. The land that we go on is it's got so much variety. There's ancient woodland, there's rivers, there's medieval churches, there's all sorts. There's so much going on, and there's a lot of land. So yeah, that's what we started doing, and we just started having a bit of fun, just going around, and we've had some pretty cool finds.
That's great. That is great. Now, are you guys still with the Garretts?
No, the thing I like about this hobby is that if you find something that's half decent, the hobby can pay for itself, which is exactly what's happened with us. We were fortunate. We were on one of the fields, and we found a Roman coin, which, in the grand scheme of things, is one of the rarest Roman coins you can find, in good condition. Just a small bronze coin, and we were able to. I think there's only ever been 17 found of this particular coin.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's. I want to say what it's called, and I can't think of how to pronounce it. Carusius, or it was the emperor, but it was at a time when there were 3 emperors, or there was 2 emperors and a brother. And this particular coin, whereas if you find a Roman coin, it'll have 1 head on it or 1 emperor's bust on it. This had 3 busts on it. And as I say, it was a very rare coin. So we were able to sell that, and obviously the farmer split the proceeds with the farmer. But it enabled us to buy 2 new machines. So we now have the new Equinoxes, the MindLab Equinoxes.
Nice.
We've got one each, which is a new bit of kit for us, and we're still trying to get our heads around how to work them.
Now, have you kept your Garretts?
No, my Garrett, I've sold mine. Dick has still got his. The only reason I sold mine was we had a thing over here where to order the MindLab Equinox, the launch of it over here was absolutely fantastic, and everybody wanted one. So you ended up on we had a waiting list, and we ordered ours. I think we ordered ours in February, and we didn't get them till mid-May. So we were waiting 3 months for our detectors to come through. In the meantime, I actually won a detector online.
Oh, wow.
Which wasn't it was a macro. So I won a macro racer too, which is a good detector in its own right. So I felt like I was a metal detecting shop because I had so many metal detectors. So I had to get rid of one. I don't think the wife would have let me keep them all.
Now, do you use the racer too as well? Do you still have it?
I haven't used it as yet. It's all in a box, so but it's there as a backup just in case something goes wrong with the Equinox.
Andy, I'll tell you, I've never used a Racer 2, but I am a huge fan of Macro Nocta.
Yeah,
Now we have different soil and stuff, I'm sure, but I am the Impact is an incredible detector. The multi-cruiser, I'm blown away by it and the depth I'm getting out of it. It is one of the things that took me a minute was it is very most detectors increasing the gain, or sometimes called sensitivity, will change it some, but I've never seen a detector that changes so much. And what I'm getting at, like right out of the box at 70, I wasn't getting much depth. And I started cranking up the sensitivity, and I can get incredible depth and still run stable. And that's what took me, because a lot of times when you start cranking it up, you'll get real a lot of times they'll get real unstable and stuff, but that detector's not like that. So now I don't know how the Racer 2 is. I believe they're similar, but that is a heck of a detector. I love the multi-cruiser. Huge fan of what Macro Nocta's doing, and I'm hearing great things about the Mine Lab as well. So I have not used an Equinox, but I must be really lucky because I currently have, I believe, 6 detectors. I've got about, besides what coils are on them, I think I've got roughly probably 10 or so extra coils. So I'm very like Steph is very understanding. So
that's good. That's good.
I've got a pile of them. Different tools for different jobs.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we with the Garrett. I mean, the Garrett was a tremendous little, as a first detector. It was great. It really was, and I was finding all sorts of stuff with it. It was really good, and I bought a Nell Tornado coil to go with it. And again, that was giving me, it was great depth on it. It was good, but the Equinox, like you say, if you increase the sensitivity on it, it starts to pick up everything, every little thing in the ground. So if you're on sort of on ground which is a bit trashy or whatever, you up the sensitivity, you're going to be getting signals everywhere. But we're gradually getting attuned to it, because you have to get your ear in, don't you? You have to get it so that you know what you're hearing, and we're gradually getting there. Gradually working our way around it. It's not as basic as the Garrett was, but more technical. But it was a sort of toss up between one of those and a Deus. So, but we thought, well, we're hearing good stuff about these the Equinox, so we've gone for the 800 each. So yeah, and we were lucky to be able to do that. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, with the 800, are you getting used to it finally, or are you starting to learn it and get the hang of it? Because I know it can be tough moving from a pretty simple detector up to something a little more advanced, a little more tuning.
Yeah, no, we are getting used to it, and it's taken a little bit of time, but obviously with two of us doing it, we're sort of bouncing off of each other with different bits and pieces. We've started to program it ourselves. A nice feature on it, which I like, is they did an upgrade last week, and it was literally just plug it into your computer and it downloads it onto the machine, which I thought was brilliant. I haven't been out with it since I've had the upgrade yet. Going out this weekend, so yeah, I'll give it a go and see what happens. But I just thought, I think having that sort of versatility with it is a good thing, but it does take a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah, for sure. I think once you master that, think about getting that Racer out and start learning it. It is always a good idea when you have detectors. Sometimes just different technology works different, and I highly recommend that. We were talking pre-show that I would consider myself a relic hunter, and it's amazing me. I can take my favorite detector over a site and then take, another one that I have and find more stuff. I mean, just the different technology reacts different to different targets. I'm not loyal to one brand or one model, and I think every major manufacturer out there has some really great detectors, and
I agree.
so
I agree.
it almost breaks my heart a little bit that that's still sitting in the box, Andy.
Well, you make me feel guilty now. I'll have to. Yeah, I'll get it out. I'll give it a go this weekend. I promise you.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, put some time on that too. That's funny. Yeah, good times. So you've been at it. You've been at it a couple years and learning. And what other good finds? I've never used any of the Ace series, but I hear great things about the 400. What was your take on it?
Yeah, I thought it was really good as as I say, as a first time detector. To buy, I found it really good. The iron. You had the iron's identity on it and all those sort of bits and pieces. But yeah, we've found some great things. As I say, we've got ancient forest, ancient woodland where we go, and it's basically it's where they used to build the houses and the ships. It's an oak orchard. It's an orchard of oak trees, and every tree has a badge on it. So the Forestry Commission know exactly how old the tree is, what it might have been used for. But the nice thing about it is that every oak tree in that forest has been worked on by men who have dropped all sorts of things all around the bottom of them. So we go. I've been over there and gone round trees. I've found axe heads. Dating back to, well, it's a difficult one to date, isn't it? Iron axe heads, but axe heads that just by the shape, they're very old.
Right.
Where obviously it's been up in the tree and they've broke the shaft of the axe, so they've just dropped it down, thinking I'll pick that up later, and it's just I've found it, a couple of 100 years later.
Right.
Found coins round the bottom of the trees. As I said earlier to you, where I live, I live in Suffolk, and not far from where I live is Sutton Hoo, which is where the kings of the Saxon kings were buried in ship burials, and some tremendous stuff has obviously came out of there. But the nice thing is that they all lived around this area. But with regards to the Roman side of things, there's not a great deal known about the Roman and settlements in this sort of area, and Celtic stuff as well. And where we're going, as I said to you, we don't, nobody's ever detected there before. And we are finding everything. We're finding everything from Celtic, Roman, Saxon stuff, right up to medieval stuff. And so we go right through the whole range. We've got everything up to, World War II. We've had our own aliens land here. You've got Roswell. We've got Rendlesham, which is up the road. So yeah, we've got everything going on. Everything.
That's cool. Right here is why I wanted to do this. You talking about the history just blows me away, and how amazing, and fortunate to be in such a history-rich area. That is just incredible.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, just last weekend I found a Roman fibula brooch. I don't know if you know what that is. That's a small brooch that they would wear to hold their cloak on, or their, while they were walking around. This brooch that I found is tiny. It's tiny. It's probably the size of your thumb, the top of your thumb.
Okay.
Now usually they're quite big. Well, this one must be a child's one, and it blows my mind just thinking that, 1,800 years ago, there was a child, probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 year old child running around, and this brooch fell off. You know,
Yeah, that is incredible.
You think about it, you just think that that kid, he was running about. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
really.
that is amazing. Just I just when I see some of the finds that you guys find over there, it's just like, wow, how far the history goes back, and it amazes me. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, I had another question for you. I wanted to ask you. I don't remember now. Jeez, just
Yeah, don't worry. Well,
yeah.
we found, as I say, we found everything for on this particular piece on this farm. Everything's going on. One of the first things I found, it was November 2016. We went onto this little plot of land, or this little parcel of overgrown land next to a river. There's a river runs through, and the other thing I like doing is all the research into what's going on there.
Right.
And I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's a site called Side by Side Maps. Have you ever seen that? Have you heard of
No,
it?
I haven't, but somebody just recently told me about it, and I haven't checked it out yet, but I will definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, it splits your computer screen in two. So you'll have, on the right hand side, you'll have Google Earth, and then on the left hand side you'll have maps, and you'll have there's a drop down bar at the top, and you can drop it down, and the maps go back to 1800. So you'll have a map on there, whilst you're looking at, on the right hand side, at the Google Earth pictures. So you'll zoom in on where you are, and it will zoom in on the map as well. And the old maps obviously have a lot of detail on it that the modern maps don't have on there. And this particular bit of land that we decided to go on, this overgrown parcel of little triangle of land at the bottom of one of the fields, has the river running next to it. When you look on the old map, there's a bridge going across the river. It's not there now; it's completely gone. But in the 1800s, there was a bridge there, and we were digging, and we were just sort of walking around, and got this great signal next to this little tiny tree, and I thought, oh, I'll just go over there under this tree, and great signal. And I dug down probably about 10 inches, and at the bottom of it there was this medieval gold ring with a garnet in it, a little red garnet, a lady's ring.
Oh, wow.
Incredible. Yeah, absolutely incredible. And because it was we'd only been detecting for a couple of months, so it was one of the first major things that we found. And it was just brilliant finding it. I was shaking a lot. Solid gold ring.
I can imagine. Now, was it old or was it something newer? Do you know?
No, it was 15th century medieval ring.
Oh my God, Andy, that is incredible.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
Yeah, so that obviously, because of the treasure laws over here, that then had to go off to, as I said to you earlier, we're members of the Ipswich Metal Detecting Club, and we have our own Flo, our fines liaison officer, who comes every month to the meeting, and he'll sit in the corner and with his laptop, and we'll present him with our fines, and they will then they'll take them away, do a report on it. But with this, because it was gold, it had to be sent off. It had to be recorded for treasure trove, etc., and see whether any of the museums wanted to buy it. And it takes a while for that to go through the system. But fortunately, nobody wanted it, so it came back to us. And again, it's one of those things. We had this. It was great fortune, and I was talking to a ring specialist, a ring dealer, and he basically told me that it was because of what it was and the way that it was made, and it was a very intricate piece of jewellery, and he said that it's not a low status item. it would have been the equivalent of someone, let's say, nowadays having a Ferrari on their drive, because so he said it was, that was a good feeling. Finding
That's
something
amazing.
like that.
Now, what did you keep it, or what have you done with that, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, well, we've that's gone to a collector. That has, that went to a collector because we can keep it, but because we have an agreement, Dick and I, we have an agreement. If we find anything that's of any sort of value, obviously it always gets recorded. But if we find anything of value, then between us, we've got an agreement with the farmer that we just we share it, and Dick and I share it 50-50 as well, whatever's left, Okay. So that's what we did with that. Sounds a bit mercenary, really, doesn't it? But I mean, my wife could have had it, but
oh, hey, maybe you'd have another detector if you'd given your wife that.
Exactly. Well, yeah. I mean, every lady that I showed the ring to, without fail, I'd just put it in there and they go, "God, that's lovely, isn't it?" Every one of them tried it on.
Oh, I bet. Hey, real quick, I want to say something. I just got a message. We do have listeners for sure. I went and looked, make sure the show's up and running right. I was a little concerned, but we only have Luke in chat. I got a message from somebody asking me how to get into chat. If you're on a computer, when you click on the show, I believe a bar comes up along the bottom. Look for a chat bubble, or it looks like a cloud or a balloon, and that's how you get in. I've got an iPhone, and I just double checked. When I click on the show, underneath it there's another bubble. It took me to a whole screen, and just look for a chat bubble, and you can get in chat if you're interested. It's fairly simple once you find it, but it almost looks like a balloon or a cloud, or but it's a little chat bubble, and you can get in chat if anybody else is interested. But I messaged him back, and I do not believe he found it because he's still not in. But I'm guessing hey, we got one in. We got Scotty Bay in, but that is not who messaged me. So maybe we'll get some more as the show goes on. So I think that's really cool that you guys split it. That's pretty neat. Has that caused any issues yet? You guys must be really close.
No, I don't know. It hasn't caused any issues. I'm not going to let it cause any issues anyway. I mean, we're pals, and that's us.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes though when we find the solid gold talks or whatever.
Right.
No, I can't. No, we both enjoy doing what we do, and we do it for the history. It's just the fun of it, the history. We have great fun doing it. Dick found a little while ago. It was quite funny because we were out one Sunday, and I was supposed to be meeting him at the field, and we name our fields after when we find something. We name the field. So we've got like the Field of Dreams, which is a field that every time we went on there, we were finding medieval stuff, and then we have a Roman field, and there's another field where. Something else happened, which I won't tell you about on here. But so that's the name, and so we know where we're going to go. And I'd agreed, we'd arranged to meet on this particular field, and I turned up about an hour after he'd been there, and he was in the field. And usually, if I pull up and I'm later than him, he'll look across and just give me a wave, and that'll be it. But this particular morning, I pulled up and I looked across, and he was running towards me, and I thought he's left all his detector and everything. What's he found? He's found something. He came running across, and basically he was telling me, "Oh, I found what he said. I think it's a Roman inkwell," and it was sure enough. It was like a small bowl at the bottom with a long tube. hollow tube, and it did look like an inkwell. You can imagine them putting a quill in it or something like that. And it was made of bronze, and it is a brilliant looking thing. And when we got back, we started to do some research, and we couldn't find an inkwell like it. And our Flo identified it, and he said it was a Roman spear butt end. It's the bottom end of a Roman spear, so it looks like a ball. So you'd have the point end of the sharp end at one end of the spear, and at the bottom end you'd have this ball which sort of slides onto the shaft of the spear. So that was a good find.
I just, again, this is why I wanted to do All Metal Mode UK. I cannot. That's one of the things I dream about at night. What kind of time period was that? Do you know?
It was Roman. That was Roman. So anywhere up until the 300 AD, something like that.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know that time period, but I was wondering if they could. I'm sure you had somebody look at it. I was wondering if they could narrow it down, or were they using the same?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you. I didn't see the report. I wasn't there when he got it back from the Fines Liaison Officer with the report. So I don't know. They do give you like a broad time period, though. I don't think they actually pin it down to any particular time. But I could be wrong. I don't know. All we know is it's Roman.
That is just incredible. Hey, Andy, let's turn off video. I'm sure you've seen I turned off my video. We're getting some lag, and I'm concerned it might be video, so I'm kind of shutting unnecessary stuff down. You kind of cut out a few times for a second, and I'm wondering if it's video. But
how do I do that? I don't know how to do that. It's going to sound good, isn't it?
Scotty Bay wants to know where that was found. I'm guessing he's talking about the spear. I believe.
Yeah, that was in Suffolk. That's on a permission that we've got. So, yeah, that was in Suffolk on the Suffolk. Not far from. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you where exactly, but
no, he wasn't. I'm sorry, he wasn't asking where exactly. He was what part of the country is what he was asking.
Yeah, no, it was Suffolk. Yeah, Suffolk. Yeah.
Suffolk. He wasn't looking for coordinates or anything like that. But
no. Don't worry, I wouldn't give them to him. No, it's no. That's another funny thing, isn't it? That detectorists are all very, protective over their
their land.
Yeah, exactly.
I can only imagine.
No, it's if Scotty's listening, then yeah, it was in the area. I don't live far from Sutton Hoo, which if you look that up, and it's sort of it's in around that sort of area, but it's obviously not Sutton Hoo because we're not allowed to go there because we might dig up some more treasure. Who knows?
Yeah.
But in that sort of area, that area of Suffolk, so Suffolk coastal area.
Crazy. Yeah. That. You know what? I'm realizing. Doing the first show, I'm really going to struggle with this because of just all the amazing finds. It just makes my head wander and my mind wander and think about all that. Just incredible. I'm going to make Luke. Luke has told me, yeah, come on over. But I don't know if he really means it. But I hope he knows one day I'm going to come. I'm going to be like, hey, Luke. I'm going to knock on his door and grab a beer out of his fridge and hang out on his couch. Let's go. Pack your stuff up. Let's do it.
Yeah, do it. You'll be more than welcome.
I'm telling you.
I've got a macro razor you can use.
That'd be awesome. I'd use it too. Real quick, Andy, I want to pause real quick, do a quick announcement, and we'll come right back. It'll be a minute and a half.
Okay, mate. Yeah.
We'll be right back, folks.
The Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine acts as a hub for information, offering articles from archaeologists, detectorists and other specialists throughout the genre, featuring many links, event info and news articles associated to archaeology and metal detecting. We also offer professional review services and promotion for books, resources, videos, documentaries, gadgets, equipment and much, much more. The magazine is run by the archaeological and metal detecting community for the archaeological and metal detecting community. So come visit us at archmdmag.com, that's archmdmag.com, and check out information from our media section with all the latest content, news from the Archaeology channel, podcast and the YouTube channels that feature the now legendary Digger Dawn, the Man with the Hat and Archeo Duck, just to name a few. If you would like to offer an article, link or inquire about other services, then pay us a visit at archmdmag.com and drop us a line.
Andy, I gotta tell you, I know you know Luke Higgins. What a great guy. He has been so instrumental. Him and Arch MD Mag have been so instrumental in helping me get everything up and going. Just great people. They are releasing the first printed copy will be out this weekend at Detectable, and I am really excited. Luke's going to send me a copy. I have a review of the multi-cruiser in there, and it's going to be in there, so I'm really excited. You with us still?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. You were so quiet, I was a little concerned.
No, I'm listening. Listening.
Yeah.
No, it sounds good. I'd like to get a copy of that. I won't be going to Detectable this weekend, though, but yeah, I'd like to get a copy of that somehow. So is there a way of getting it?
I don't know. Luke's in chat. I'm not sure how you'd get it over there, but Luke, fill us in when you get a second if you're still with us.
Yeah.
There's Andre. He showed up. He messaged me, and so good. He showed up. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. That's really big and good news. Their website is great. I love going to their website and reading articles. Matter of fact, that's where I get most of my stuff for the UK from. My UK fix, as I call it. Some of your history, but yeah. So, are you ready to share your hoard story? I gotta hear this.
We did find a hoard, yeah.
I gotta hear about this.
The reason why I'm on here, yeah. We found a hoard. We went out last year, about June, July time. We went out one evening. We finished work, and we just decided to go to this particular field. Now, the field that we went on is actually the same field that we found the spear butt end, and literally a week or two before we went out on this particular evening, I'd been on this field and I found my first ever Roman coin. So I was absolutely made up, but I found this coin, and it was one of these situations, and it was a Helena, who was Emperor Constantine's mother, I believe, and the significance of this little coin with having this woman on it. Obviously, Constantine the Great, he was the first, and right. So if anybody wants to correct me on this, I'm all for it. But my understanding is that he was the first Christian Roman emperor. And he was the first Christian Roman emperor because his mother was a Christian and she had introduced him to the religion. So I just found that amazing that, you've got this coin with this woman on it, who basically it spread through the Roman Empire after that. Once the emperor was a Christian, then it sort of spread that way. So that was my understanding of it. I can be corrected,
Okay.
and I'm quite happy to be corrected on that. I'm not a historian, but that was my understanding. So I'd found this small coin, and we went out and on a couple of occasions we hadn't found anything. And this particular evening, we decided to go out onto this field. Now, we got to the field, and there was a freshly ploughed area, quite a big area, but not the whole field by any means. It was, a tiny portion of the field, but it had all been ploughed freshly over the previous couple of days. And we know that our landowner, he's got a couple of old tractors, and he does like to, if it's a nice day, he'll hook it up to a plough, an old plough, 1950s plough, and he'll just go and play on the field, ploughing it over, which is what we thought he'd done. And we thought, right, we'll get on there because it's all freshly turned over. We found this Roman coin, and away we went. And Dick was at one end of the ploughed bit, and I was at the other end, working our way towards each other. And all of a sudden, Dick shouted, he screamed to me, and I turned round and I said, "What's the matter?" And he said, "I've got gold, I've got gold, Roman gold." And I said, "No, and he was, to say he was running towards me, he wasn't. He was floating above the ground. He was coming towards me, and you could see that he had found something. And I sort of went over to him, and sure enough, he had this gold Roman coin in his hand, and it was stunning. It was beautiful. Gold obviously comes out of the ground as it went in the ground. So 2,000 years ago, a bit of gold will look the same. The ring that I found, the medieval ring, came out of the ground like it would have been dropped yesterday. And sure enough, this gold coin was exactly the same, and we couldn't believe it. So we went back over to where he'd left his detector, where he'd found it, and we started detecting. And it's quite sandy. Where we go is quite sandy soil, and after a couple of minutes or so, we started hitting another coin, and then another coin, and then some pottery, and then some more coins. And in the end, we had a lot of gold, and they were all gold Roman coins. Unbelievable. We were,
let me pause you right there. Like, what was going through your head?
Well, yeah.
I mean, what were you feeling? I mean, was your heart had to have been racing? I can only imagine.
Yeah, I mean, we were in shock what we found. We just couldn't believe what we were finding, and we had so many of these coins, and we just, and they were just popping out of the soil. So we just thought, oh, this is unbelievable. And there's a procedure you have to go through, and in this country. So if you find something like this, you notify the landowner. You then contact your finds liaison officer, and you get them involved. And they will sort of basically, the archaeologists come along, and they will take over, and they'll search for, they'll have a look, and they'll excavate and everything else. I couldn't remember any of it. I sat on the side of this ploughed furrow, and I just couldn't remember what to do. So we were both the same. We were both in shock. So I just said, look, we'll calm down, go home, we'll think about what we've got to do. We know where we've found these coins. We'll take the ones we've found. If there's others there, the archaeologists will probably excavate them. So what we'll do is we'll go home, we'll sit down, and we'll just calm down first of all. But going through my head was, I was buying a sports car, and my mortgage was paid off. Would I have enough just to chuck my job in? It was that sort of thing going on. So, but we got home, and I showed my wife, and she was like, "Oh yeah, blimey, that does look that. Well, they look great. That looks real. And we were just, we were shaking. Just wanted to. We were looking up the coins on the internet. We just went on there, and there was some. Well, there was one particular coin, which was an Emperor Nero, a gold coin, and it was worth, according to the internet, about £27,500. So I don't know what that is in dollars, but that's a lot of money. One coin, and we had 6 of these coins. So we were like, we were sort of, we were in shock. Now, I've got a neighbour of mine. He's a member of the Suffolk Archaeological Survey. He's a metal detectorist. He's been doing it for 40 years. And I usually, if I find something, I'll run over to him and show him, what we found. And I couldn't wait to get into his kitchen to show him these coins. And I took them over to him and poured them on. It was all very dramatic. I said, "Here, Roy, have a look at this," and I poured them onto his kitchen table. I won't tell you what he said, be rude, but he couldn't believe. Where did you find that? Anyway, I told him what we'd found and where we'd found them, and he was looking at them, and then he picked them up. And the minute he picked them up, he said to me, "There's something wrong with these. These aren't real." And I looked at him and I just said, "Yeah, what do you know? You silly old, you silly old sod." I said, "What do you know?" And he said, "No, these aren't real. They're not heavy enough. These aren't real coins." And I sort of said, "Oh, right, yeah, okay, And anyway, I came home and I told my wife, and there's a program here in the UK, a TV program called The Detectorists.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Very, very big here in the United States, actually.
It is, yeah. Okay, yeah. So it's a great program, and they film it on the land that we detect on. Now we knew they were going to be filming. We didn't know when they were going to be filming. You can see where this is going, can't you?
Right.
Yeah, and anyway, my wife said, "Well, you do know the detectorists are filming at the moment," and I said, "Are they? Well, we didn't know that. Where are they filming?" And she said, "Well, they're filming in various parts that various places that we go to, but not in this particular field." So I was still had this thing in the back of my head saying, "No, this is real. This is a real hoard." Anyway, she spoke to the director the following day and asked him if they'd put any gold coins down, and he said, "No, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that." And she said, "Well, only my husband and his friend have found these gold coins in this, this freshly ploughed field, and they were wondering if you've been over there." And and he said, "Hang on, whereabouts is it?" And she told him, and he said, "Yeah, we part of the program is that you see a farmer on an old tractor ploughing up a field, and basically they filmed the ploughshare going through the ground, and it was turning up coins, gold coins, which they had put down, and this is where this bit of ploughed land was, and basically where they'd poured the coins down and it had turned the coins over and they were filming it, it was also burying the coins as well. So they picked up the props of the ones that were on the surface, but they didn't pick up the ones that had been buried, and subsequently we were the ones that found 54 fake Roman coins, gold coins.
I don't mean to laugh, but
feel free. Everybody does.
Well,
and I'll tell you what I've just told you. See, I wrote an article for Treasure Hunting magazine, and Julian published it in the magazine, and from that it got picked up by the national press over here, and it was in every national newspaper. And then obviously we had a lot of feedback coming back on all the metal detecting sites, and people saying, well, these guys, they're obviously what they're saying, can't have happened, and all this sort of thing. I swear to you, it's absolutely 100% true. We hadn't been detecting that long, so we just immediately, we didn't know what we were looking at. But yeah, it's a funny story. It's a funny story. I can laugh now.
Right.
I've had counts. Everything.
But you know what? Okay, it didn't pay off the mortgage or anything like that. It's still a really cool find. I mean, that is still just incredible that you found that, and that's souvenirs from the show that nobody else has. You know.
That's true. Cool. That's very true. Yeah, it's true. And they're on display in the farm reception now. So the people come in and they see them in a glass case, but it's the non-hall. Cool. So yeah, they keep them over there. But
so you're in that same area. I don't know if you drink or not, but do you go visit the pub or anything?
Yeah, of course we do. Yeah. We've got the little pubs around there, and we nip in and usually put our finds out on the table while we're having a beer.
That's very cool. That's one on my bucket list. I want to come over to the UK and, of course, do a bunch of metal detecting, and I want to get just wrecked at the pub. And I don't even drink that much anymore.
Well, I can help you with that. That's not a problem.
Oh, Andy, yeah, I'd love to meet you and hang out and see some of your finds someday. It'll happen someday. I'm telling you. It's on my bucket list. Yep.
Yeah. So that's the hoard that we found. The non-hauled, and it was in all the newspapers. It was on the TV. It was, that was a bit of a. It was one of those things, but we can laugh about it now. We laugh about it now,
right? But I still think it's a very cool story and very neat that you found him. I mean, again, it didn't pay off the mortgage, but wow, still cool to find. That show is huge over here. I have watched.
I tell you.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you something else. If you've watched the show, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but that may be listening, but you've seen at the end of the show where the coins fall out of the tree. Have you seen that?
I have not seen all the way through season 3, so you just ruined it for me. But go ahead.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. It's okay. I haven't seen it, but it's okay. Go ahead. I will end up watching it. I'll end up watching each season 3-4 times, guaranteed.
Yeah. Okay, well, the tree, I know where the tree is. And believe it or not, they didn't pick up coins from under the tree either.
Really?
So now I've got fed up with digging up fake coins from underneath that tree. I don't go to the tree anymore.
Oh, Andy,
there you go.
I need a huge favor. I've got a huge favor. I have he's a good friend, but I sell detectors through a dealer here in the United States, and he collects, since he was forever, he collects movie props and stuff. That's like he's a big detectorist as well, and he's right in Virginia, the heart of Civil War and colonial. He's in a great area, but that's his big thing. I need a coin somehow. I need one of them.
I'll send you a couple of them.
Would you? I would love that. That would make his day. Absolutely, his year. That would make his year. He's a big fan of the show as well. Everybody here that detects is a huge fan of the show, and I would pay for shipping or anything.
Yeah, no, we what I've done with the coins, as I say, they're all on display in the reception of the farm that we go to. But what I've done is I haven't sold any. I've had a lot of people contact me. Obviously, when it was in the newspapers, I got a lot of people contacting me for them. And what I did was I just said, no, I'm not selling any of them. I'm just, we're just putting them on display. But what I did do is I've raffled a couple off at our metal detecting club, so that it's raised a bit of funds for the club. So it's gone to a good cause really. But yeah, I'll send you a couple of them, but I'm not going to send anybody else. So if anybody starts contacting you,
and they will go straight to my friend who collects. That would just make his whole year. I'm telling you, and he wouldn't do anything with them or sell them or anything like that. That is amazing. Yeah, I would. I just can't.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. So that's the the hoard that we didn't find. But we've had some other great stuff. So
Yeah, tell me about more. I love already, like, now, I went through your Facebook a little bit. I don't see any of your finds on there, do I?
No, I don't like to put them on there, to be fair.
Okay.
There's particular sites that we have that over here, like, metal detecting sites on Facebook, and they're great because you can. I'll put them on there, and I put on there, what we found, and then people will identify stuff. There's a lot of finds liaison officers that follow the sites because they want to pick up if there's anything found. And our guy is really good, and he does that. He'll come onto the Facebook page and he'll say, "Oh, this is whatever that is," or he'll point at things. But as for having them on my page, it's not something really that myself or Dick, we've never really done that. We just put them on the sites just to get the identification of them, really. Yeah.
That is, I've got to see some of those finds. I'm telling you, you're going to have to send me pictures or something.
Yeah, that's not a problem. I've got photos. I can send you pictures of the ring and the coins and all sorts of things. I mean, I can do that. And if you want to put them on the all metal mode page, you can put them on there.
Oh, I'd love that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if we talked about it. I started a new Facebook group specifically for. I'm sure you've seen it, right? All Metal Mode UK.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could, I would love for you to post that if you don't mind. Any of the like the Roman coins and the spear, the ring, just amazing. Yeah. That is incredible. Yeah. And at it such a short time. Congratulations, Andy. You guys are really on a roll.
Yeah, definitely, and it never ceases to amaze me what is under our feet. It absolutely never ceases to amaze me. We've got, and it also amazes me. We've got fields right next to each other, and one we'll find lots and lots of medieval stuff on it, but no Roman or Saxon stuff on it. And there'll be a pathway, and then there'll be another field right next to it, and all we'll find on it is Roman and Saxon stuff, but nothing medieval. It just amazes me how that happens. The people must have been just moving around, all over the place, But it's this thing, isn't it? I defy anybody to get a metal detector, go into their back garden or their backyard, and within a minute they'll have a signal. And it could be something from last week, it could be something from last year, it could be something from 100 years ago. You just don't know, and it's all there, and there's a lot of it about.
That's incredible. I can't imagine. It's almost overwhelming for me to imagine what you guys are, where you're at and what you're doing and finding. What's some of your favorite finds? I mean, you've told me about some great finds. Are they your favorite, or do you have some other finds that are your favorite?
Like I say, I've found stuff from from all sorts of. I like to find the older it is, then the better it is for me. I found obviously the Celts used to make gold staters, their coinage, and where we live is where the Iceni tribe and the Trinovanti tribe were. Well, the Iceni was, you've probably heard of Boudica.
No.
You haven't?
No.
Boudicca. She, or however you want to say it. Well, Boudicca was she was a warrior queen, and she actually gave the Romans a good run for their money. She really, they they attacked the Romans and burnt Colchester to the ground, and they did St Albans. And eventually, the uprising was put down, but that her tribe were from this area, and obviously they had their own coinage. They had what are known as staters, gold staters, and I've found on the land that we go to, when they made these staters, it was basically they were hammered. They were basically they weren't cast. They were put on a little former and then obviously hammered, like a hammered coin. Now I've found 2 bits of gold, which are the exact weight for quarter staters, which are small coins, Celtic coins.
Okay.
But it's actually, but they're round. They're perfectly round bits of coin. They're perfect. Sorry, when I say they're perfectly round, they're like a ball of gold, which we've shown them to the fines liaison officers, and they've said that they are pre-hammered coins. So they're the material that they would make the hammered coin out of. And we found a couple of those. So they're a couple of thousand years old. So things like that, they're the things that blow my mind. Dick has found part of a Celtic Iron Age horse bit for the mouth of a horse. He's found a bit of that patterned, bit of metal which has been identified as that. So yeah, we've found some really good stuff. But my favourite finds, my favourite find is my next find. It's going to be the best one.
Right. Now, have you had a personal connection or anything with any of your finds? Has anything stood out, that had special meaning to you or anything?
In what way? What do you mean?
Well, like a lot of my guests on the All Metal Mode show that I do here in the United States on Monday nights, I always ask that, and I've had some really interesting answers. And like, for example, I found a button once that I don't want to get into it. It's kind of a long story, but it has special meaning. There's not even any monetary value to it, but it's really special to me. I know people that have. We had one guest who found a pipe. I think they're called a pipe tamper, and it was of a naked lady. And he just this guy has found some of the most amazing finds here in the United States, but that pipe tamper is just like, it's just his favorite, And I was just curious if at this point you had something that meant something special to you or really stood out to you that you really love.
The thing I found that stood out to me and that I really, when you think about it, it's great when you think about it. I found I found a Roman coin, and it's a sesterces, which is quite a heavy coin. It's quite a big coin, and again, I'll put the photo on your Facebook page. Mm-hmm. Now that's a Severus Septimus emperor. Now he was an emperor, obviously a Roman emperor, but he was the first black Roman emperor. Now I never knew that there was a black Roman emperor.
I've never heard of that.
No, but it just goes to show you that when you think about it, I look at this coin and I just think this was a black guy and he was the Roman emperor. Now you don't get taught that in school, and I think that's something that should be taught in school.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
Do you know what I mean? That to me, I think that's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I think that that just blows my mind. Things like that just blow my mind. But I suppose that is the coin. That is the one coin that I can say that means something. That really they all mean something. They're all, lovely things. And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The story behind it, and the emperor, this is, you just don't imagine it. You don't think about it.
We've got a question in chat. Andre is asking. He missed the first part of the show. He was curious what detectors you use and your setup, which we didn't go through any kind of setup. And how often do you and Dick go out?
We try to go out. We try to go out as often as we can, work permitting and other bits and pieces. But we try to get out at least once a week. If we're not out together, we'll go out separately. But we try to get out at least once a week. Twice a week would be lovely, if we can do it. And obviously in the summer, when it's nice in the evenings and it doesn't get dark till late, then you can get out in the evenings as well. So yeah, as many times as we can. Setup wise, obviously as I said earlier, I started with the Garrett Ace 400i. I've got the Garrett pinpointer. I use can't remember what the name of the spade is that I use. It's a red one, the Spartan.
Okay.
Red Spartan, yeah, which is the Blackadder. It's the Spartan. So that's the spade I use, and then obviously now I've got the Equinox 800, which again, it's a great detector. So yeah.
Good. Now, how are you setting that up to run as of now, or are you still learning it and changing things up, or have you found a setup that's working good for you?
Yeah, it was set up as obviously the factory settings, but there are so many people that are putting videos, and I watch a lot of the videos on YouTube, the guys on YouTube that are brilliant, Marky Mark and people like that, and they're actually setting they're producing programs for it. If you set it up in this way and set it up that way, so really that's what we're doing. We've got a particular setup, but you've got four different modes on the Equinox, with two settings on each mode. So you've got 8 different modes going on. So it's but we're still learning. We're still working our way through it. Yeah.
Real quick, Scott Bay wants to know if you've found a cartwheel penny.
Yes. Yep. Found a cartwheel penny. That gave off a good signal. That was one of the first coins I found with the Equinox. Found a cartwheel penny.
What kind of shape was it in?
It was okay. It wasn't brilliant. It wasn't a brilliant one, but no, it was. Yeah, it was, and that was the first one I'd ever found. Dick has found again. Dick, I don't know why he does it. How he does this? You just reminded me. Way before we found the fake Roman coins, we were on another one of the fields, and he came running across again with a gold coin in his hand, and it was a Georgian guinea, which a gold coin, gold Georgian guinea, 1 guinea coin, and which again turned out to be a fake. It was a spade guinea.
Oh no!
yeah. It's, basically, apparently in Victorian times, they used to fake them, and the farmhands used to get them and go into the local pub, and slam down one of these fake coins. They were used as gaming pieces as well, I think. And they'd go in. The farmhand would go into the pub and slap it down on the counter and pint of beer, and but there were quite a few of these apparently produced.
I know here in the States, counterfeit coins are often as valuable or even more valuable than the real coin. Is there any value to that?
Not really.
Not
Not really. No, no.
Still,
I think, yeah, it's a great,
yeah.
it's a good find, but not the real thing. Again,
Right.
he keeps doing it. Perhaps I'll have to, not let him come out anymore.
Hey, Andy, are you? One of the questions we have is, can you compare the Equinox against the 400i? Which one do you prefer and why? I know you're still in the learning phase with the Equinox. Are you comfortable enough to talk on that a little bit?
Yeah. Comparison wise, I mean the Equinox is a more technical machine. It's got a lot more features on it, but the Garrett, the 400i, I'd still recommend it. Yeah, if anybody said to me, we're just thinking of getting into it, I'd point them in the direction of the Garretts. Yeah, definitely.
Very cool.
I think they are a good machine. But comparison, it's difficult to compare them. They're two completely different machines.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be hard to compare, but multiple frequency versus a single frequency detector and all that, and pretty different price point, and usually with price comes a little better performance, a little better more adjustability, more setup and stuff. So I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good deal. Andy, we got anything else? You got any stories that you want to tell, or?
Can't think of any, to be fair. Can't think of any.
Well, hey, we're gonna get you back on, and maybe even with Dick, if we can work that out. I'd love to hear him talk as well and tell some stories. I'd love to hear his side of him running across the field and with his finds and stuff. So yeah, let's get you guys on.
Yeah, he does like to do a dance. He does like to dance around when he's found something good.
Oh, that's funny. That is too funny. Andy, thank you for coming on the show. It was absolutely amazing. Love your stories, and again, we'll get you back on. I'm really excited to get you back on again. I guarantee you're going to get. We're going to hang up, and you're going to go, "Oh, I meant to say this, and I wanted to talk about this," and and then you'll have more stories for us when we get you back on down the road a little bit.
Yeah. I was just going to say that one of the things where we detect, legend has it that there are some crated Indian motorcycles buried.
Ooh, why were they buried?
From the Second World War.
Really?
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
And I'm dying to find one of them.
What I was always told is that because most of the motorcycles were Harley, and the reason Harley won the majority of the, I don't know, the rights to build or whatever, was the Indians used better materials, better bearings, and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that was told to me from an old biker.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know the American Army did use the Harleys, without a doubt. But the reason I say Indians is because this is what has been said to me by several people, and we're talking about the old farmhands and that, and they've all got a little bit of knowledge. They're great guys to talk to because they'll always know something or know where something was, or one of our fields that we go on, and we find quite a bit of Roman stuff on there. We've been told by several people, oh yeah, there was a settlement up there. But there's nothing maps, there's nothing, but it's all sort of word of mouth for the locals and that. So it's interesting. Always worth having a chat with them as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's really neat. I hope you find that if you find a bunch of them, will you send me over an Indian?
Yeah, of course we will. Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't imagine that'd be really neat. I've seen where they've dug up planes over there and stuff. That was pretty fascinating.
Yeah. Planes that have crashed and that. I mean, not far from us is Alford Ness, which is where my family all originate from, Alford, on my dad's side of things. And Alford Ness is where basically radar was invented at Bordsey and Alford Ness during the Second World War. And my dad was actually evacuated there during the Second World War because they lived in London. So he was evacuated to his grandparents' house, and my great-grandfather was actually the police officer and security on Alford Ness, and they used to any downed German planes that had crashed in this country were apparently taken to Alford Ness and reverse engineered, so we knew what was going on. My dad, as a little boy, would go with his grandfather to work, and he was playing in the German planes that were all just sitting there after they'd been reverse engineered and rebuilt, and then he was a little boy playing with the German aircraft.
That is incredible, just
How cool would that
incredible.
be?
Yeah, that is neat.
Yeah.
My hometown is Dayton, Ohio, and that's where the machine was made at NCR to that broke what was the German was it Enigma?
Oh yeah.
The NCR is Dayton, Ohio. Yeah, that's where I grew up. So, yeah, I'm fascinated with all. The older the better, but even World War II is fascinating to me, and World War One and the trenches, and it's just all incredible history there. Just amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
It's good.
Andy, it has been great having you on, and we will do it again. Let me know when he's back in town, and when a good night is for you guys, and let's plan on soon doing it.
Yeah, and good luck with this podcast. It's been great fun, and I hope a lot of people want to get involved and sort of get behind it, because it is good, and it's good to everybody discussing what's been going on.
Yeah, sharing stories and talk about different detectors, and hopefully we can keep it fun and interesting and a little educational. I love getting into the technical side of it. So
yeah,
I appreciate that so much, Andy. Thank you.
No problem at all.
All right, thank you, Andy. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Cheers. Bye. Well, there you have it, guys. The first one is in the books. And before we cut out, I want to say again, this is your podcast. Please share it with anyone who might enjoy it. Help me get the word out. Join All Metal Mode Podcast UK. Give us feedback, suggestions, ideas for different shows and what you want. The Facebook group isn't showing up yet. It's so new. I just made it last night. If you need a direct link into it, you can get a hold of me, Michael Hare. You can add me on Facebook, and I can link you to it. Of course, you can just add me on Facebook anyhow, but it's Michael, Michael, Hare, Haer. And add me on Facebook, and I can get you in there. But thank you guys for tuning in. I had a blast. It was just amazing to talk to Andy. I'm already looking forward to having him on again. I guarantee he's already thought of other stories, and we'll get some new stories down the road. Thank you all for tuning in.